still trying to go rock climbing. Let's see. He's here.
I'm somewhat afraid of heights. It's weird. It's a weird fear.
Agoraphobia is a justifiable fear.
But it's like I can go up the Fresnel Tower, look over, I'm all hunky dory. Put me on the edge of a cliff, and I'm like, whoa!
You see, I don't mind it. I used to be that way, but then I was a ride tester at Great America for the better part of the summer.
No way.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Fun.
But when you're ride testing the Eagle and the Demon and the Shockwave repeatedly, you don't have a choice of whether you're going to get paid.
You're crazy. Good stories, though.
Yeah. Especially when I got fired.
Why did you get fired?
Because I picked up a child and put them on the ride, even though his parents told me that it was okay for me to do that. And then one of my coworkers came back and complained, and I got fired.
Aww.
So I came back the next day, because I still had my phone. Yeah, you touch your child. You know how awkward it was seeing him every day.
Without
for
you?
6 months. 2 feet. The bastard deserved it.
Mean guy. He is. Not you.
Yes. Yeah. And he never said he was sorry. So. Oh well.
Yuri, looks like you need a water. Do you need a water? Your your office is freezing.
That's why he's wearing a sweatshirt.
I like your old school. That's an old school sweatshirt.
Yeah, they tell me that.
It's like vintage.
They tell me that. I only wear free stuff, so.
Free?
Yeah. I suppose this is.
You're a cheap husband. You're probably, your wife probably enjoys
I
that.
can't remember the last time my purse paid for any art.
Well, what about, like, your wife buys it?
Well, yeah, obviously.
I
Your wife does that?
well, because she's got time, because she's got a sense of fashion. I have none. At least I know my size. That's your one.
Well, I actually did that wrong too.
Just know my blood type.
All right. Here we go. You should have. Yes, you should have. That would be a good thing. No, I'm
We were,
just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
we were outside of kind of cave area, and there is this small little candy shop. She puts all of her stuff in.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And she puts a half shot of bourbon
Oh,
into every piece of something.
really? Why? Because it has.
Because it's good.
And it brings flavor into it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that I've ever had bourbon. I just don't know that I ever have. I don't know, maybe I have. And I don't even know it.
I
Like in a
rarely,
mixed drink, maybe once, the bartender might have accidentally put some in, but
I rarely drink.
I don't know.
But bourbon is one of my favorite drinks.
Really? Oh, wow.
So.
Wow, I'll have to see what that's all about and see
It's
if
a
I
little
would like that.
strong.
See, I think that's the strongness of it would,
Yeah.
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 But, you know.
Well, it's a document complete, like, see the information is there on Skyward that you might have to page through and print it out. You still have it though?
I still have a copy of paper. Probably
What you might wanna do is do a processing list, put all the names, it'll take some onboarding to put those names in. But once you have that, you can do basically a mail merge to whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Let me know and I can help out if you, in the week and a half that we have left.
I do need you to help me do something, but mine's not urgent at all.
Let me
Surprise.
let me know if it's something you can absolutely done.
Well, just know when you're, well, I know you never have time, but
What are you gonna do?
all you gotta do is take that access and flip it in your, yeah, I know it's nothing, that's why.
And that doesn't have to be done.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
I need a piece of gum. I had onions on my, do you have a piece? I had a burger, now I got burger breath. Just a Culver's, trust me, I don't ever eat gluten hardly. And then I really wanted a Chester's, but I went for, settled for Culver's cause it was quick. Well, you know Adrienne down in our office, where she came from, they don't put butter on their burgers.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I don't need it.
Really? Like at home, you don't put butter on your bun? I don't put butter on my bun.
Ketchup.
Oh,
Ketchup, mustard, pickles.
Cheese. I mean, after I get everything I eat on my bun, I have enough. I have equivalent to butter.
You gotta have it. You gotta have a-
Equivalent.
when Adrienne goes to Chester's, she gets her with no butter. I was like,
Whoa,
what?
that was not good. What did I do?
I don't know, what did you do, John? I wasn't watching, I'm sorry.
I pulled something down here.
Carrie, do you like Gary's vintage sweatshirt?
Oh my gosh, I wonder if I might have one just like that. I think I might.
It looks comfy. One of those old ones that's been washed 100 times and.
Yeah, they made them out of really nice material then, don't you think?
If you're looking at getting rid of that one, we'll take it. We put it in the.
All right, Mike, did you get that given to Conrad? Yep, oh, good, excellent.
I think you're a winner.
Oh, right, me too, in fact, I know so, right?
Everything is about.
I am. Yep. I'm good.
John, you are still going with inspiration and
That's all I need.
I probably should get that.
I mentioned it.
circling around them and then they're not getting
Yeah,
the
right.
right spot.
Yeah.
I did not get I did not get a new one of these.
There's
Not
nothing
one
new
of-
on them, so.
No,
What?
from John, I would
Hey, I
like
got
a
it to
new
work.
one, yeah.
You're
Just
giggling
to
the whole
look at
time.
if there's a question. So question.
There's
that
gonna
I
be a
have
day
for
that just
you.
doesn't
Let me
connect
just
to
collect this with you. Your opinion on it.
To get me out of cleaning up their mess and sodding and, I know, they're done. They're finished, but it's, no, that's gonna be separate, that's gonna be, well, that's gonna be a, Time Warner cable actually, doing splicing and changing. Cause that's gonna shut down us.
Maybe the trivia like book.
Right. And then I was
Our
gonna read,
teachers say.
and then I thought I was gonna read this. No, I was gonna read just year to year.
It is difficult to get ages.
Months, and then I was just gonna read this, and I thought, I'm not gonna do this for a chance.
Yeah.
But, okay. Isn't Georgia going to Lakers tomorrow?
Let me just send you the, I'm gonna send you, I'll give you this now, but.
Yeah,
Send you the electronic version.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, cause I'll try this. Cool, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a, and just as a reminder.
Yeah, this, yeah, yeah. I have one less of this and I must have given somebody else an extra. Nobody said.
Well, this is my special friend.
It's always good to have people.
Oh, Katrina, one of the things that you're gonna bring is a copy of the handbook, 'cause I don't have one.
Yeah.
I may have to take one.
I've got actually them all in a binder. Do you want me to bring them in the binder or loose?
Let me put it in here in case there's a question. Oh, we got time.
So today at practice, I was showing a spin move.
Yep.
I spin off and run into Walker Saladini.
Yeah.
Spin here,
Yeah.
run into him, and you hit the guy right like this.
Yeah.
So Walker takes one step back like this, steps on Mayer's foot, and crumples down and is like grabbing his knee.
Oh,
going,
no.
Yep.
We shipped him off the field. It just has like a little, it's like a sprain, you know,
Nothing
a bigger
bad.
reaction to it, but I thought,
Oh,
oh my
no.
God. Like, we only have like 5 linemen total.
So Friday's gonna be a busy night.
What else is going on?
Packer game at 9:30.
I know, that's a big deal.
So we have a,
We'll be finished up.
we got a post game too.
Right. The game is at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
So we have a post.
Kind of works out perfectly.
So I'm gonna.
We finished up.
Okay.
Hopefully we win and you feel good about things. And then you can watch the Packers.
Sure.
I think I might bring Jackson today, Friday.
All right?
I mean, look at that. Is she not beautiful? Look at her eyes.
She was on oxygen for a while because she wasn't breathing right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, so she was on oxygen and then it forced her to kind of breathe.
and then it's gonna bring us home and then I'm gonna watch it. And when we get home, Alex will go to bed and notice that your bumpers are not, one and it's what he is, he was one and a half in July, so he's what, he's 17 months now. 18 to 20. Maybe it was, oh, he's about, yeah, he'll, a year and a half almost to the T.
Yes,
I know, yeah, yeah, the good news is, Ian is today a little, Ian is a little more, colicky. But not bad at all, it's just because of his squeeze. You know, it's a little different for the no, that's fine.
How are you doing, Sally?
I'm good. Now, I can tell you,
Well, if I need to like grant the permission or something, or we go underneath my login or something too.
Okay, well, either way, we're calling, we're talking. Amy's got a message into them, so.
Okay.
What is this?
Hey, John, do you
This
have,
John gave me for you to sign.
does anybody else have files that need to be opened? You don't have any files that need to be opened?
John, the certificate of statement that you want Sally to sign, what is that?
Oh,
That we had in summer school?
Summer school attendance.
Okay. How's it going, Tony?
Pretty good.
Good. How are things over on Silver Spring? Clean?
all right.
We do not have quorum.
Just say Kurt.
Well, I guess we have a quorum, don't we? No, 3. Oh, we do have 4. Okay, good. I would wait 1 minute. 1 minute, and then Gary will come out and tell us. Here it comes. There you go.
Always good to have a minute.
Oh, good to have a minute, yeah.
We're right on 30 seconds
Be
to spare.
surprised what can happen in a minute, right? How are you?
Good. Well, did you get a chance? I'll call the meeting to order. I'd like to call a meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll need a motion for the adoption of the consent agenda as order of business.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Now we need to consider approval of now we need to consider the approval of the minutes for July 17th, 2018 Board of Education meeting. Approval of financial report for the period of July 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2018, and approve the bills for the period of July 1st, 2018 through July 31st of 2018 in the amount of $1,764,693.44. Need a motion?
Make a motion that we approve this amount.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. A district leadership team and strategic planning. Legislative update. We'll start our legislative breakfasts in September, so there's no information to report. Review of the academic pillar of excellence. Dan.
Thank you. We had gone through this at the committee of the whole, but I'd like to just highlight a few of the key points about the district. This is our primary mission, is the academic achievement of students, and we work very, very hard on that, and we set goals annually, and I'm going to highlight some of the things that we've done to achieve those goals for you and for the public. So we have a few future states. Our first future state where we want to get to is that all students are prepared to enter post-high school education in order to find personal success in a global society. And so we've got a number of strategies under that goal, or that future state. And the first one we were talking about was the continuation of our expansion of our agriculture, nutrition, outdoor-based curricula, all being integrated throughout the entire school district. And I have to report that we've had great progress in this area. Obviously, the Food Science and Ag Center has been built and functioning for a few years now. But the curriculum and the interaction surrounding that facility has grown and grown every year. We've got every school in the district is accessing that facility in one way or another. Field trips from elementaries, students going to elementaries, cooperative work between schools and the Food Science and Ag Center, and of course the great interaction between our food service program and that our students eat every day, and the Food Science and Ag Center. That we grow things in the greenhouse and our kids get to eat them, so it's great. But also, there's been a marked increase in the amount of activity around all of our school gardens as well. So that's good things are happening there. Another highlight I'd like to make is that we're focused again on literacy and on reading in the schools and really trying to improve how well kids are doing and achieving and growing in that area. And I'd like to mention just a couple things about that. We've created and improved our pedagogy we began really digging into something called the continuum last year. I've presented on that in the past, but it's really a holistic approach and a measured approach to understanding where kids' reading levels are and what to do about improving those levels. And so all of our teachers in all of the elementaries and moving into the middle school are engaged in that work very heavily. And in fact, just our big first PD day coming up, that is what the theme of the day is going to be. It's going to be about literacy. We've got an expert coming in, and the entire district is going to hear a presentation by her to talk about we're all in this together for the purpose of, in her case, she's really focused on literacy and reading, and why everybody from our custodial staff to our support staff to the teachers in the classroom, that's what we're about. And so that's all part of that goal, and we're really focused on for this upcoming year. The STEAM curricula has, we've made superior progress in this area. Of course, we've had the success at the high school level for a number of years, but just like the Food Science and Ag Center, all those kids and teachers building relationships and coming to those areas has grown the excitement and enthusiasm about it. And now we've got in our elementary schools, we've got things like maker stations, we've got programming and coding, we've got art extracurriculars, we've got engineering style problem solving, and much more. There's like little robots going on in all the different buildings in the school. So it's really it's got a lot of momentum, and last year was fun to see those things happening in the classrooms. We've also implemented, another one of these strategies was implementing additional fine arts offerings, and we began doing that last year, and we will continue with that this year. We've added staff, and we've added programming, things like music theory. So next year coming up, we're going to be putting in some additional classwork that students can elect into. So it's going to be exciting. Another one of our future states that I wanted to talk about was that all of our physical learning environments in the Plymouth School District are exemplary. And of course, we have passed a referendum. Thank you very much to the community for supporting that effort. And I think the outcome is going to be outstanding. The learning spaces and the affected areas are going to, we're in that planning phase right now and working on all those things. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that a little bit later. But the work surrounding that area is going full bore, and we're reassured all the time by the people that we're working with from Myron Construction, the people who do this all the time, that we, because of our pre-planning and the work that you authorized us to do in advance, has shortened the planning phase and given them a head start so that we can get going on this project, on the projects sooner. So that's fantastic. The last future state is that the Plymouth PSD teachers and teacher leaders and staff and administrators are all of the highest quality, and they're deeply committed to the common mission to serve children. And so we're really working in that area and last year one of the strategies was to improve the marketing of our report card, our internal report card, for which Jamie has won a major award for. We last year were awarded the WSPRA. I don't know what that stands for, but it's the what's the PR? Yeah, it's a PR award, and so for outstanding reporting. And so I just know that I presented our report card to a whole group of teacher leaders just this last weekend on Saturday, and everybody was going crazy about how much information is on there and the fact that it's not, I think to Bob's point earlier, it's not all statistics. We do have statistics there, but it's linked to stories, and the stories were very important, and the little video clips that were in there were people really thought that was powerful. You know, the stats were great, but the stories were more powerful. So that was it's been an ongoing success, and we're revising that thing constantly and updating it as much as we can.
And Dan, were those teacher leaders outside of our school district?
Yes, they were all outside. They were from everywhere. Hudson, I mean, mostly the western side of the state, actually. Yeah. Then we wanted to, another future state we wanted to inspire, not a future state, a strategy, is we need to inspire and grow all staff through professional learning. Our professional development council, our teacher leaders, the leadership cohort that you advised or that you approved of last year, all of those functions which draw on the expertise of our teachers and, in fact, support and encourage the expertise and sharing from the teachers. It's kind of who we are, it's what we do, and we're constantly trying to improve those mechanisms for those types of relationships and activities to occur, and last year was no different. So just some highlights from last year, and just looking forward now, every year we have to decide what do we want to do next year and for 3 years out. I thought for the purpose of this and for the public audience, just some of the exciting things that we'll be looking at next year would be probably the best thing for people to hear out there. And so in the future state where we're looking at making sure kids are really ready to go for school, one of the things that we discussed as a leadership team was that we have had a writing goal for quite a while. We developed a writing curriculum and a framework that all of our students have 3 different pieces that they write when they're in the elementary grades going into the middle school grades. And what we wanted to do was we need to evaluate that and see where it's going. And so we are going to be developing a measurement tool to see how well our students are writing and how that stacks up against what they should be doing. So that's going to be a major undertaking for us this year. Another one is that we are going to be, we've talked about literacy in the past. We're really going to get specific this year about reading in particular. Literacy is the holistic view of all of it, but we're really going to be kind of honing in on reading, and we already have measurements for that using our iReady system and using the benchmarking system, but we're going to be continuing to stress that and bring a sense of urgency to that area of our performance, our students' academic performance this year. Another one is that in our STEAM area, that we're looking to. My eyesight is getting bad here. Apologize. I know. I should probably. I know. I'm not going to do it. I see what this is. I highlighted these things, and so it kind of makes it a little bit harder to see. We want to continue to advertise and market our students' achievement in STEAM, and we have been doing that, but we want to be a little bit more purposeful about it, especially in the K through 5 area, because that's really been where the growth is lately, and with all the little robots and butterflies and households that are turning light switch offs and on and off switches and all those things happening. We want to make sure that that is well known out in the community through our communications, because it is something that I think sets us apart again. And we were set apart because we were an early adopter in engineering and technology and all of that. And we're kind of ahead of the game according to the people that I talk to in other areas and that are doing, that do my role in just the elementary level of things like programming and coding and all of that. So I want to make sure that that's a big deal for people in the community to know. And then 2 real biggies this year for us are we are going to be we're going to be planning it's a planning phase for the healthcare curriculum, the careers curriculum, because we've got the facilities being constructed, and by this time next year we will be able to have a designated space for that type of activity to occur. And we've got multiple different partners that we've had meetings with over the past year, and we just need to kind of coalesce around a couple of, or a singular direction in that healthcare careers area. And then, of course, we are using a new resource district-wide for our math curriculum from our grades K through 6, and our 6 through 8 is a little bit different one, but we've already done a lot of training on that in summer this year. We're continuing on it in the professional development upcoming these next couple of weeks, and that's going to be a big, big initiative for us. So you could sum it all up for our major focus areas this upcoming year. It's STEAM, it's math resources, and it's reading literacy. And we're really fired up. And of course, the future state also includes our gigantic building project and all the planning and everything that's going around that with that too. But we've got a lot to do this year, and we're excited to get going. Any questions? Good.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
And next, we'll have our review of the financial pillar. John?
Okay. Kurt will put the financial pillar up on the screen for you if you want to reference it. Financial pillar has 5 future states. The first one dealing with having sufficient funds to support our educational programs and all our operations without the need for short-term borrowing. I'm happy to report that there's at least a reasonable chance in this coming year we will not need to short-term borrow, and that's been a goal of mine for the last 10 years, and we've really built our fund balance to be very close or perhaps achieve that goal this year. Within the strategies, we obviously, as a district leadership team, review and recommend budget priorities. This past year, we got a large increase in our health insurance costs, so the DLT had to review options and select the best plan and affordable plan for our employees. The state increased revenue for historically low-spending districts by us, and with that extra revenue, DLT reviewed possibilities and will be adding professional staff this coming year to help better educate our children. And finally, by state mandate, all districts are required to do building-based budgeting, which is not something we did in this district very readily. So our business office has been busy restructuring all of our accounts, and that is a very huge project that started last spring and is ongoing. Going forward, we will continue with that building-based budgeting. We will also have, this is the year coming up that we review the teachers' salary and benefit packages, making sure they're competitive with our neighboring districts. Another strategy under this is to outline we were to develop an outline of the Employee Benefits Trust so that we could support such things as future payments for retired teachers and future building projects. This past year, we did a study on that, which set up all of the framework for the legal process, the kind of policies that are required in terms of investment and whatnot. So that's all prepared and ready to go when our funding is available for such project. But for this next year, we're going to put that aside and focus on other budgeting areas. Another strategy in this area is to evaluate an electronic collection system, or in other words, a credit card system for food service and student fees. This past year, we met with vendors, we got costing, we set up again all of the framework to do just that. When the school year starts to calm down, I believe we will start to move to implement that program in the coming year, primarily focused on food service at first and getting the training for our necessary administrative assistance so that all goes smoothly. Another future state is that the food service and community education will be self-sustaining entities. We had a good year in that regard. The food service showed a small profit and collected more money than it sold, which was good to help its cash balance. The community ed operated at a small loss, but there was a number of personnel and position changes, and they have some capital projects going on. And fees as a percentage of the overall revenue declined slightly from the prior year in community ed. Going forward, we will continue to evaluate the programs in food service and community ed so that they continue to be provide both benefits and be at least cost neutral in our budget. Another future state of the financial pillar is the district will work with other organizations to acquire, share, utilize sources of additional revenue. We never really had a baseline for sort of the revenues that we do garner from outside sources. This is primarily through donations and maybe private grants and that sort of thing. So this past year, we developed a sort of report that's about 75% complete at this time, which we will share with interested parties that show where our donations come from and what kind of programs they support. Obviously, our areas like tech ed, athletics get a lot of support. Maybe there's other things we could do for some of the areas that don't get so much support. And also coordinating those efforts with the Plymouth Education Foundation, which certainly does some good work on our behalf. So that's kind of what's going forward next year, is to identify those targets and see what can be done. Another future state is that the district will have a fully funded maintenance and operating plan and a fully funded capital improvement plan. Well, huge accomplishment of the district this year was to pass that $30+ million referendum that will greatly add and enhance our facilities in the high school and 2 of our elementary schools. And many, many hours were spent in planning and working with that, and will continue to do so. I think that the referendum, as part of this goal, will occupy likely the next 2 or 3 years in the strategies as we move forward, because it is a very large and intense project. And finally, the Board of Education will develop sufficient influence to fully and adequately operate the school district from traditional sources of revenue, taxes, state aid, and federal aid, and be competitive with other school districts. And we can certainly give our board a pat on the back in this regard. The new state plan for helping low-spending districts like ourselves catch up is remarkably similar to the resolution we put in to the WASB in terms of how these school districts would catch up by increasing our revenue limit a little faster than other school districts' revenue limit. And frankly, it's been very beneficial to our budget this coming year. Also in that regard, the board used the referendum process, another traditional means of getting funding, and we will do great things to 3 of our buildings in the district. So going forward, the board will continue to participate in legislative breakfasts and working with our legislators and our WSB to continue to promote the good things Plymouth School District does and methods of making education like Plymouth available all over the state.
Nice job, John.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John?
John, when you say that the board did that legislative thing that brought us, certainly we were behind it, but I think credit goes to Tim. I think the community needs to know that it was Tim
Certainly
St. Clair.
is the author of the ideas.
Yes.
Yes.
Great job, Tim.
The
Very good.
credit also goes to you, because without your support, I couldn't have done it. So I appreciate that. Moving on, we will need to consider the approval of the proposed revisions. We don't have to consider that, right?
No, actually, we do have to approve the elementary
Okay.
handbooks, and Nick is here. The handbooks we discussed this at the committee of the whole meeting, but you also received the handbooks in your packet. So, Nick, I think there's few, if any, changes.
Very minimal. The most significant change to the handbooks being the start and end times of our school day. 2 minutes added to both the beginning and the end of the day to accommodate the changes made to the school calendar, which was the trimming of a week to facilitate the construction projects that are occurring this summer.
Will we need to do that next year for the elementary schools too, again?
Well, the trimming of the calendar, moving that week up will assist in the elementary schools, because the process at the elementary schools will be able to be done a week sooner. We'll be able to get started a week
Okay.
sooner is what
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
So we don't have to extend that 2 years?
we're hoping not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else, Nick?
No, everything else is approvable.
So we need a motion then to approve this?
I move that we approve the elementary student parent handbooks.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Then food service bids, John?
Okay.
First, we have to consider the action to approve the annual meeting, the budget for the annual meeting.
Oh, yep,
Sorry.
budget to be officially published for the annual meeting. This is from John, so
Yep, believe it or not, summer's almost over. Annual meeting will be upon us next month, and at this August meeting, we traditionally have approved a budget to be published at the annual meeting. At this point in time, the budget is still somewhat fluid. We don't know our student count, we don't know open enrollment, we don't know a lot of things, but this is our best guess at what the budget will be. Going forward, when we pass the official budget in roughly October. So I would ask that the board approve this. The details of the budget will be covered in depth at the annual meeting.
so we need a motion for this?
I move we approve the budget as presented.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on this? Just as long as everybody knows, this is just a preliminary approval of the budget for the annual meeting.
For publication.
Yep. All in favor? Aye. Now, food service bids. John again?
Okay. Due to a typographical error, we are asking that you rescind the food service bread bid that we made last month and award that bid to Alpha Bakeries, because their bid was not fairly represented, and this should be fine. Our previous bid awardee was never notified of the bid award.
So we'll need a motion for this?
I move that we rescind the previous decision and that we approve Alpha as our provider of bread.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor? Aye. Approval of third-party purchasing bid.
Another bid we have to approve is a third-party purchaser. Food service doesn't go out and buy all of its individual products directly. We usually use a brokerage for that. Our food service manager is recommending that we use HPS for this service based on 2 proposals we received in a timely manner and scored based on various qualifications that are in front of you.
Okay. We'll need a motion.
So move that we approve HPS as our third-party purchasing agent.
Second.
So is there any discussion on this one? How often do we change this purchasing?
I think we used to work through a consortium, and this is kind of going a little bit more independent in this regard.
Okay.
To get better pricing and better quality.
Okay. Then, all those in favor? Aye. Update from Facilities Subcommittee. Bob?
The Facilities Subcommittee, we did meet and received updates that I'd like to share with the community. Basically, the major plan designs are complete for the high school facilities as were outlined in our initial plans. We've received city planning approval for the high school pending some stormwater plans that have to be submitted. Beyond that, next actions that will be undertaken is seeking state approval and DNR approval, as well as right now what's underway is what they call small detail planning, which they look at various items with the plans to make sure all the mechanicals, all the electrical, all the lighting, and everything are really set up the way the teachers would like to have in the learning areas. Site logistics, how the building will go about, where equipment will be positioned, inventory staged, all of that is in the planning stages. As we get closer to fall here, we'll begin to see that activity start up. So that's all in the next action phase. Some other changes or updates relate to the cafeteria. Just to smooth out the entire building process, it looks like we'll move that renovation to 2020. I guess it's still a little in the air, but it seems
Move out if we can't get it done.
if we can accommodate everything without disrupting the school year. So that might be a subtle change just to the timelines. Construction activity should begin October, we anticipate, and then also later this fall, winter, we will begin the major school plans, planning designs for the 2 grade schools. And I guess the other good news is it was reported that currently all the activity is coming in under our budget expectations. So
Within our budget.
Within our budget expectations. So it's all good news and exciting to see where this is all headed. So that's my report.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions of Bob? And we'll move on to consider gifts and corresponding budget adjustments. Carrie?
Yep. Today we have 3 gifts, and first of all, a donation of $562.22 from Parkview Elementary School PTK for student transportation to Christopher Gardens Bookworm Gardens and the nuclear power plant. A donation of $867.67 from Fairview Elementary School PTO for student transportation and admission to the Milwaukee Public Museum, and a donation of $350 from Kurt Joa for the machine tool and die program. And then the corresponding budget adjustments are there, and I would recommend that you approve the gifts and the budget adjustments. Worth a thank you.
So, we need a motion.
I move that we approve them with a thank you.
And I will second that with a thank you.
All right.
Is there any further discussion on this? Hearing none? All in favor? Aye. Board liaison reports. Community Ed, Sally.
What's happening in community ed is a lot. The new classes will be out on August 30th.
No.
Today. Oh, today. You can start signing up on August 30th. That's what it is. Thank you, Kathy. So it is available for you to get. It'll be in the newspaper or come into Community Ed and pick one up if you can't wait. There's a lot of new classes that will be offered. One that is new is called Around Our Town. This is going to be for adults, and they will be on a guided tour behind the scenes of some of our local businesses. Other new ones are Cooking with Herbs 101, growing your own microgreens, healthy aging, fabulous autumn vegetables, holiday cheese making, dog obedience, edible landscaping. And also for expecting parents, Delivered, a night out for expecting parents. And then for parents and grandparents, it's called Parents in a Smart World, Safety in Our Electronic World. Also, don't forget, this Thursday is the Hauler Parade. So from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., the semi-trucks will be in the parking lot here that you can come out and roam around, look at. There'll be other activities going on, a food stand happening, and then around 5 o'clock, the semis will take off, go through downtown and on Highway 67 north to Road America. It's all free to come and walk around and see what's going on. Any questions?
Thank you, Sally. Foundation, Bob?
The foundation did meet, and really what can be reported from that meeting is that Party with a Purpose, the planning is, and the work is well underway. They are out and about seeking donations and contributions for the auction that will be held at the party, and just all of that work really is in place right now. So if anyone in the community would like to help out with Party with Purpose or donate something to the auction, we absolutely would love your support.
Thank you. Bob? Any questions, Bob?
When is the Party for the Purpose going to be? Do we know yet?
I knew I was going to be asked that.
November.
Dina, can you?
November
9th. Knew someone was going to ask.
Okay. Any other questions of Bob?
It's a great time, so put it on your calendar.
And we'll be on the Family Resource. Jamie's not here tonight. Professional Development, Richard York.
The Professional Development Council hasn't met since school got out in May, but there's always something happening in professional. I wish when Dan was doing his presentation on our strategic pillar of academic excellence that I'd counted the number of times he said professional development, because it's in our DNA. It's through everything that we do. And one interesting thing that I heard Dr. Dassau comment on at our previous meeting is that our professional development is a huge draw for prospective teachers coming in. One of the things when she makes the offer of employment that she hears is, I love what you guys are doing in professional development. I want to be in a place where I can grow. And so it's through and through, in and out, inside of all that we do, and others from the outside are saying, I want to come be a part of that. So.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions for Richard? Then we'll be moving on to personnel. Carrie, please.
Yep, tonight, the board will first consider a resignation request from Sarah Path, special education teacher at Riverview Middle School, effective at the end of the 2017-18 school year. Sarah served the Plymouth School District for 4 years. And then we'll move on to the new contracts.
Okay. Need a motion?
Move that we accept Sarah's resignation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And then we'll move on to the contracts, though.
Yep, the board will consider a 100% contract for Kurt Schultz to be an alternative education teacher at Plymouth High School. Kurt received his bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and master's degree from Viterbo University. Kurt has 13 years of teaching in the Wauwatosa School District. The board will also consider approval of a 100% contract for Marcus McCauley to be a special education teacher at Plymouth High School. Marcus received his bachelor's degree from Lakeland University, and this will be Marcus's first year of teaching. And also the board will consider approval of a 75% contract for Denise Roth to be a reading teacher at Horizon Elementary School. Denise received her bachelor's degree from the University of Stevens Point and master's from Cardinal Stritch University. Denise has taught 8 years, has 8 years of teaching experience at the Kohler School District as a reading teacher. Denise has been a special education assistant and has worked in the various positions for community education in the Plymouth School District for 3 years. And we would recommend that you approve the contracts.
I recommend that we approve all of these tonight.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? All in favor? Aye. Support staff.
All right, so Katie Johnson, cook server, has submitted her resignation. Katie has served the district for 1 year. Tricia Heineck, cook server, has submitted her resignation. Tricia has served the district for 1 year. Lori Kasserman has been hired as a school nurse at Riverview Middle School. Adrian Barrett has been hired as a 4K teacher's aide at Fairview Elementary School. Ann Secord has been hired as a special education aide at Fairview Elementary School. Sue Chalet has been hired as a special education aide at Fairview Elementary School. Melissa Hill has been hired as a special education aide at Fairview Elementary School. Laura Mosley has been hired as a special education aide at Fairview Elementary School. Nick has been busy. Sampaktra Kalsti has been hired as a cook server at Plymouth High School. Amy Quickaboom has been hired as a cook server at Fairview Elementary School. And Janet Dejwankowski has been hired as a cook server at Horizon Elementary School. That is the support staff update.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yep.
Moving on, there's nothing for item 11 and item 12, President's Report. Yesterday morning, I had an opportunity to meet and greet our new teachers and our new professional staff teachers. I've been doing this for several years. I've missed 1 or 2 over the years, but this is a remarkable amount of teachers, and they really show excitement for this school year. I'm really pleased in what we have done and how we achieved this our employment.
Yep. Yep, and kudos to the principals who spent a lot of time interviewing and getting that staff on board. I know I was up there today too and heard some really strong comments about the group that we have this year, so it's wonderful. Mm-hmm.
Very good job. We thank you. Mm-hmm. And that concludes the President's Report at this time, except for Go Panthers.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait. Friday night. So, all right. All right. For the superintendent's report, first of all, on an outstanding note, the baseball team and our community were awarded the WIAA Sportsmanship Award for the summer baseball tournament. This award is given to only one team at each state tournament. And just as an aside, our team did qualify for the WIAA state tournament and lost to Muskego in a thriller game of 1-0. So, but what a great award! Almost better, because sportsmanship is a great thing too. So thank you. I want to call out Kathy Murray tonight and our custodial staff for all the work for preparing for the Holler Parade on Thursday. That is an amazing thing to get together, and I just want to thank you because I looked at everything today and just could see how much effort's been put into that. So thank you, Kathy.
Dr. Rauscher, Claire Emily, John Mather, and Tracy Miller for their efforts and coordination of our new teacher program. Excellent program. I was up there now twice, and I just have really thought that you did a lot to put that together, so thank you so much. Also, I want to congratulate our Plymouth Fire Department on their anniversary. What a great accomplishment for them and for all the service that they've given us in our community over the years. And then before I go into the calendar update, I do want to talk a little bit, just quickly do, if you can bear with me, Plymouth, actually, the whole professional development, we were actually featured in the Green Bay magazine. It is their magazine for their students called Investing in Your Future. And I'm just going to read a quote. This was for our master's program that we have, and our teachers are quoted in here, and these are our two math teachers and technical education teachers who went through the program and designed courses from their work in the program. And it says, the most valuable thing to me was working with fellow Plymouth instructors to create something that was valuable to my own teaching as well as to our district, said Bo Biller, technology educator instructor. He was one of 3 teammates to research and develop a new technology-focused math course aimed at students not headed for a 4-year college. There are excellent math courses offered at Plymouth for students who plan to enter a 4-year college university, explained Darren Munson, a math instructor. We felt there weren't adequate math courses to meet the needs of students who would be pursuing careers, military, or technical college options. And this was another collaboration, added Jack Daniels, a math and computer science instructor at Plymouth and the 3rd member of the team. Through the process of implementing the new courses, we were able to collaborate with Lakeshore Technical College to offer these new courses for math and technical college credit. And then at the very end, and the article goes on, but at the very end of the article, Tim Kaufman, who is the dean at UW Green Bay, said, Kaufman said the Plymouth model could be replicated in other districts. In fact, some districts use part of the curriculum, but no one has the level of commitment that Plymouth has. The program develops leadership within teachers, he said. That plays out in the classroom and elsewhere. So thank you for all the work in that area. I know Dan leads that program, and I want to thank you for that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our upcoming calendar. First of all, this Friday, the Plymouth Panthers play Sheboygan Falls Falcons at the first home game. Go Panthers. Then August 22nd is freshman orientation. That's tomorrow night at 5 p.m. On August 27th, our teachers return. September 29th, sneak peek at our elementary schools from 3:30 to 5:30. And also September 29th, we have sneak peek at Riverview Middle School, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. On September 4th, school begins. Awesome. And then the next committee of the whole meeting is on September 10th at 5 o'clock. And September 18th is our next Board of Education meeting at 7 o'clock, and that'll be our annual meeting. And the annual meeting will be followed then by our regular board meeting. So that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Are there any questions for Carrie? Hearing none, we need a motion to dismiss.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Philip and Tony, Bob is good.